When I tell you, there is something about the Chicago airport. Have you ever flown through the Chicago airport? There's something about it. There's something. I don't know what it is, but there's always something. I have stories about the Chicago airport. Let me tell you one of them. Hey, my name is Darz. Welcome here. I'm just a mom with two little kids and a little rig. Currently traveling. Well, I just traveled the other day by airplane. Sometimes I travel in my rig, but I also love traveling by airplane. If you didn't see my little clip yesterday, we were traveling and it was a long day. I was so tired by the end of it. I totally last second was like, shoot, I'm falling asleep and I didn't post a video, and yeah, so that was my clip of the day. Anyways, not falling off the bandwagon of 365 days of video because I am almost done with this, bro. And sorry, I couldn't find a great place to film, so this is my background for today, for my story time of the day. Chicago airport, right? Somehow, they always, first of all, our landing was great. We landed our airplane, yeah, right. We landed in the airplane, Chicago airport, totally fine, dandy, wonderful. Before that happened, we had a whole delay on our end of the airport, but that's a story for another time. We landed, right? We're taxiing. Since we're on a delayed flight, everybody's getting restless. They're like, oh, some people have these connections they're still trying to make. They're going to be really tight. It's going to be really tough. But we're taxiing. And we're taxiing. And we're taxiing. And we're still taxiing. For I don't know, was it 30 minutes of taxiing? How ridiculous that you can fly a distance that in the car will take 7 hours. And by plane, it takes less than 1 hour. And yet, you're still in the airplane for at least 2 hours because of the initial taxi and prep and whatever. And then the post-flight taxiing and whatever. It's just so silly to think of how advanced we are in some ways, but how ridiculous some things still are. Anyways, we get to our gate, right? I get off with the kids. We got all our stuff. I got 3 backpacks. I traveled with 3 backpacks this time. And one per kid, right? No carry-on luggage, just one personal item per human. It's my bag was quite heavy, but which is part of the reason I ended up with bringing my stroller, which is good, which is great. That helps this story. The story could have been worse if I didn't bring the stroller. But we got off our flight. We had time. We had hours, 4 hours to get to our next flight. So we just, went to the bathroom and went to the little kids' play area and played over there and, took our sweet old time. I looked at my app, and my next flight was on the other side of the airport. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe Chicago airport does not have those subway things like other big airports do. Chicago, no, you have to walk. And you have to walk, and you have to walk, and you have to walk. And so we walked, and I thankfully, like I said, had a stroller, so I put one kid in the stroller, but then the other kid was saying their feet hurt and they want to go in the stroller, but then so I stacked them both on the stroller at one point. I should have taken a picture or something. It's just some people were laughing. Some people were looking at me, and this one lady actually came up to me and asked if I need help because I had a huge backpack on my back, one kid on the top of the stroller where you put your drinks, and the other kid in the stroller, and then a backpack hanging off the side of the stroller, and a backpack in the bottom basket of the stroller. And we hiked across the airport. And we stopped at a Starbucks because there are 50 Starbucks there, and there's really no other options for coffee. Dunkin', I guess, but that was over there. So we stopped for coffee. Took forever and a day. Kept going. Okay. I ended up at some point hopping the one kid down, and they took turns, and it was interesting. It was a thing. But anyway, there's this tunnel, right, that goes underneath one of like the runways, I believe, or at least a place where the planes taxi through. There's like a basement tunnel that goes underneath that part. And so we went down there, or we tried to go down there. No, we did. We went down there. We took the elevator down because we couldn't take the escalator because I had a stroller. So I took the elevator down to the basement. But the elevator buttons weren't working. So I pressed the basement level button. No, first I pressed the lower level button because I thought that's what it was. We went to the lower level and I was like, this is not it. And so I was reading, there's 4 spots in the elevator that have that button. I was reading each one of them. They have a little placard that you can barely read. And I finally figured out that, oh, it's the BL level that we need to go. I need to press the BL button. So I pressed the BL button. But then we went up, back to the upper level. And and then I pressed the buttons again and again and again, multiple times, nothing. Somebody else came in, went down to the lower level, and then I pressed the BL again, and then it finally allowed me to go. Okay, so finally got down to the basement, walked across the entire basement corridor tunnel thingy-majiggy, which is pretty cool. There's like lights up above and on the sides, and looks kind of cool. We get to the other side, go up in the elevator, go to our gate. We're just chilling there, kids having snacks and watching their tablets, and we're just, waiting, kind of biding our time until our flight is ready to board. Like 5 minutes before my flight is ready to board, I look at my thing again. My gate says the other freaking side of the airport. Back where I just came from. It's like, it took us like 20 minutes to walk because, with the kids and whatever. If I was just hiking alone, it might be a 10 to 15 minute walk, I think. Like 12 minutes. But with the kids, and plus we were just kind of going slow, just tootling along. And it's like, whoops. Like 20 minutes at least. So I'm like, great. They're starting boarding in 5 minutes. We have a 20-minute walk ahead of us. Let's go. So I repack the stroller, pack the kids up, say, come on, let's go. And we go back to, back to the elevator. We got to go down to the basement. This time, press the elevator button. And we wait. 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 And we keep waiting. And this lady comes up with a pilot comes up. And he's waiting with us. And we're just, chatting a little bit. And my kids, at least one of my kids really loves to talk to people. So they were having a conversation. And then eventually the pilot is walked away. He's like, I'm not waiting for this elevator anymore. I got to go. So he went across the way to like, what's it called? A staff like stairway or something. And I was like, oh, there's another elevator over there. So I take the kids. We walk over to the other side to go in the other elevator. And it says, for associates only or something like that. And then I look over back to where we were, and that elevator has popped open. So we hike back over to the other elevator and press the button again. It's gone by now. By the time we get back over there, the elevator's gone. So we press the button again, and we're waiting, 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 and we're waiting. I keep banging the wall, sorry. It's just like for effect, dramatic effect. Waiting so long for that freaking elevator. It finally came, thankfully, with the coming and going of another person with a lady in a wheelchair. She's pushing like associate, airport worker pushing a person in a wheelchair. She came over there. She was waiting for a while. She left. She went over to the associate elevator. Well, finally our elevator comes. Okay, and then we get in the elevator, go down to the basement, hike across the basement, hike back up go up the other elevator and back into where we came from originally. And we're able to board our flight. We were like the last passengers to board and get on our flight. So what did this story teach me? Oh my gosh. First of all, Chicago Airport, you need to fix things. Everything takes forever. Takes forever in a day. I don't know what you need to do, but get more productive over there. Get more efficient. Okay? And then think about how airports are so, this is one of the few areas that we are so, as just a community, as humans, as peoples in cities and looking to travel, this is one of the places that we are so forced to just be patient no matter what. Like, we literally can't do anything about it. If we want this thing, which is to travel to this place, and we want to fly to get there, we just have to comply with airports and airplanes and TSA, security problems, airport weird issues. And I know it wasn't like that big of a story, but it was just like a realization again of like how much we just rely on the airport and the ways in which they make us frustrated, and yet we just have to deal with it and just be patient with it and keep doing it and keep coming back to it. It's almost like it's just a practice, I guess. It's, if you want to practice being a patient person, go to an airport. Go to Chicago Airport. Go to Chicago Airport. Okay? Well, thanks for being here. I'm also not complaining. I'm just like, it was a funny story. I just wanted to, and it was a realization for me. And what was I going to say? Shoot. Oh, I am very grateful for the luxury of being able to travel by plane. I actually love flying and I love being in airplanes. But Chicago Airport, bro, I might have to move. Might have to move. All right, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.